Look here. And Hajar, come close, Hajar. And Aisha. And yours? Those ones. Let's speak over Colette, Emmanuel. So proceed and say, proceed. Colette, Emmanuel. Joyce. Joyce. Just proceed and say Joyce.
Because she knows that Say Robert. Sia Aziz Swaleh. Sia Aziz. and we did debate.
Zinda Raymond James.
You said
Let me check on
Senuga Solomon. Senuga Solomon. Taneka Enoch. Taneka Enoch. Solomon. First. Solomon. Tracy Justina. Tracy Justina. Is there any other person from this side? Iga Alan Bo, Iga Dan. Iga Alan. Iga Dan. Zira Mabati. Any other person? Expert. Welcome back. From that where we have witnessed expressions of gratitude to the Creator in all forms and manner. And the keyword in honor that I've been able to take out, Hallelujah, Mukama Mulungi, Allahu Akbar, that's the right pronunciation. And congratulations once more. You now advocates of the High Court. Your Honor, I would like to acknowledge the arrival and the presence of the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, who happened to join us while we were in the midst of the ceremony of the enrollment. again, Your Honor, with your permission, we had skipped that to allow the Vice President here. Now that he's here, I request that you permit me to take you a little back to that in our program to welcome the Vice President to address the conference.
Members of the Judiciary, Council President, the newest advocates, our guests for today. I would like to invite them for today. Together with your proud families and relatives who have been bringing the light in the room. Members of the Fourth Estate present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you all. Today it is my distinct honor and joy to join you on this significant occasion. As you lawyers are enrolled, formerly enrolled as advocates of the Courts of Judicature, I bring you warm greetings from the Uganda Society, specifically the Radical New Parliamentary Council. The general membership, they are excited to receive you to the bar. You're crossing now from, you're joining the table officially. As Uganda Society and as the Radical New Bar, we are proud to embrace this historic day where new custodians of justice, that is advocates, judicial officers to be, state attorneys to be, etc., are officially launched into the most noble profession. Allow me also the expression mention of one of our very own, I saw Orono. Yeah, please get it. Orono Susan, she is our staff working in the legal aid project in Moroto. And she has been serving as a volunteer, I think, for quite some time. Now she'll be able to appear in court and represent the litigants and the indigent people in Karamoja region. Congratulations. Now, I'll begin by briefly talking about the statutory mandates of the Uganda Society. I know when you got here, you had, engagement with the members of the Uganda Society explaining to you why you should join and why it is important. But the Uganda Society, established in 1956 by an act of parliament, which is now CAP 302, the Uganda Society is guided by three major statutory objectives under Section 3. And these are going to be the basics of my, address and the advice I'll give from the statutory instrument. The most important three, there are quite many, but there are three major. One, to maintain and improve the standards of conduct and learning of the legal profession in Uganda. That's one of the mandates of the Uganda Society, which you're joining and becoming members to. Two, to assist the government and the courts in all matters affecting legislation, administration of justice, and the practice of law in Uganda. And three, to protect and assist the public in Uganda in all matters touching, auxiliary, or incidental to the law. Now, these are the major roles, these are the major duties every advocate ought to focus on. These objectives remind us of our duty as lawyers. It is not just a profession, but also civic, societal, and transformational. We are therefore called to serve all, not just ourselves, but to serve everyone, all the members of the family. That is why it is an all-round objective and obligation. So what is your role as an advocate? You've enrolled today as an advocate. What is your role, or what is expected of you from our perspective, from the perspective of the bar? Your major role is to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. And And this takes me to a Bible verse which says, ensure justice for those being crushed. And I find that in Proverbs chapter 31 verse 8. Your duty is to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. Because as an advocate, you have the capacity to speak in places where they cannot speak. You have to be the voice of the voiceless. That is your major role. It is not just, made up. It is also a verse in the Bible. I'm very sure the Quran must be there. I'm not reading the Quran, but there must be something close to that. Being an advocate is not just a title. It's a vocation of service. You're now, from today, I know some of you have been doing this, but officially, you're now defenders of justice, interpreters of the law, and guardians of rights. These are the major aspects you should focus on as you play your part. Your role demands more than just technical skill. It requires integrity, courage, humility, and ethical excellence. You have to uphold confidentiality, avoid conflict of interest, honor your fiduciary obligations, and serve your clients with diligence and honesty. I know the excitement of being able to appear in court, represent clients. Some of you have been holding out, have been meeting some of you in corridors of court. But I won't mention names, I won't point out. But at least now you won't be hiding, you'll be appearing officially. We know the courage. And while doing that and performing that duty, do not forget these major principles that should guide your government practice. In a world full of injustice and equality, your voice can make a difference. Remember always, like I said before, law is not a privilege of a few, but rather the shield of the many. You might look at this number as big, but think of the members of the public out there who have not had the capacity, who do not have the ability, who have not had the privilege of going through law school and getting here to this point. It might be your privilege, you might feel privileged, but then how does it benefit? So whereas it's a privilege of a few, that is not enough. Let it be a shield of the many people, members of the public. Now I'm very sure the representative from law council in my absence talked about professional ethics, it being the major focus of the regulator. But I also speak briefly about professional ethics. Ethics is the bedrock of our profession and practice. If you throw ethics out of the window, you have thrown your profession. Some of you are just beginning. Your career might not leave the garage. If you throw ethics outside the window. Without it, law becomes a tool of oppression rather than liberation. We've seen members in this profession, people in this profession, to oppress others. And that is the opposite of what is expected. As members of the bar, you must exhibit unwavering ethical standards in all you do. And this should be through the way you communicate, your practices, your billing, client handling, and the guest conduct, plus so many other aspects. Let professionalism guide you. The general society remains available to guide, train, and assist you where necessary. To some extent, we would rather avoid facing discipline. When you go to law council, the language is different. You're being taken there to be disciplined where you become unprofessional. But before it gets there, we're here to guide. Let your practice not be illegal, let it be ethical. Now, another important aspect is about mentorship and continuous learning. This enrollment is not just the end. It is the beginning of your learning process. The profession demands lifelong learning. The law evolves, so must you. I was seated with our ship, and the time she saw some people coming smiling, she was wondering where I've met. And I told her, most of these are my students at the Law Enrolment Center. The reason I came in late was because there is a continuing legal education training ongoing. And while there, I had to preside over that training in the area of intellectual property. And these are senior members of the bar. Those who have been practicing for over 20 years. But just so you know, every day there are new things coming up. The law keeps evolving. So if you do not open your mind to continuing education and training, at the end of the day, you will not be relevant, and your career will also stop there. So you need to be open to that, and I urge each and every one of you to actively seek out mentors. The wisdom of senior advocates, judges, for those of you who are lucky to have a chance to speak to them, other judicial officers, and legal scholars. Their guidance is invaluable in this profession. Do not walk this journey alone. You're not a fountain of the knowledge. Doesn't mean that when you passed, you know it all. Learn to observe, ask, and grow. If you do not do that, again, your career will remain stagnant, and you will not be of use yourself and the public. ULS offers numerous continuous legal education trainings. These are CLE opportunities, and I encourage all of you to take full advantage of these. You owe this to your clients, to the profession, and yourself. And of course, as young lawyers in the field, because the fact that you've enrolled today, regardless of how old you are, at least for the next 5 years, we consider young lawyers. And the Uganda society, we've put measures where the young lawyers are helped, assisted to attain this knowledge through the CLE training, most of them being free and targeted at improving your profession. So please look out for this. Try to be vigilant and ensure that you take part in this. I'll also talk about another aspect of finding your niche as an important aspect of your practice and legal profession. I know while we are all training in law school, from law school, LDC, we undertake every form of, aspect of law. And sometimes they will say you're a lawyer for everything. I had a colleague guys to call Kazini because everything you brought, they felt to an expert. And they will provide a solution. And that's how our training is structured. And like I said earlier, some of you today, some of them will be in private practice. We shall have those who join, DPP, Attorney General, cross to the bench judicial officers. These days I appear before many of my students and I have to address them as they worship because they are magistrates. And that's the journey they've taken. And there are so many opportunities in the field. But what is important for you as a lawyer, I'll give you a saying by Louis Brandeis that a lawyer who practices law all his life never learns anything else. A specialized lawyer learns something besides the law. The legal profession today is increasingly diverse and complex. Consider carving out a niche for yourself, whether it's in environmental law, fintech regulation, banking, construction law, intellectual property, arbitration, criminal justice, public interest litigation. There is always space for you. It doesn't mean you ignore the rest, but you need to find yourself and choose where you're best placed, so you can best serve and deliver. Now, specialization increases your expertise. It makes you more competitive and allows for more focus and impact. The world is changing, so must your approach to legal practice. While looking for speakers for the training, the intellectual property training, which is ongoing right now, we have to go now to the cluster and look for members who are skilled in that field. Recently, I attended an event at RSP, and they were celebrating the World Intellectual Property Day. We had all these artists, musicians, and people performing arts. And they asked me a question, how law society media? These guys are telling us about the new law, about copyright laws, how it's going to help us. How we don't have members, lawyers who are helping us? They mentioned according to the readings. And they have members who are crying out there saying there's no business. But these guys are saying, we do not see lawyers, we don't only find lawyers who are in this field. But this is an area which is very profitable. So how do you really find your niche and use it to benefit? Try to be, a specialist in one field, because there you're encouraged to study more and learn more and add on the knowledge you have, which will make you special and different, to create the difference between you and other members, other advocates on that field. Now, I'll talk about the importance of networking. Your career will not grow in isolation. Not maybe I'll go back to your home and say, now I'm a lawyer, I'll do everything. You will not grow if you choose to proceed alone or to stand alone, isolate yourself. In this legal society, we are a community. Please interest yourself in attending most of these bar events. I know it's important also associate with others. You can find yourself with, doctors, with teachers. I hope not with doctors, because they also associate in their own way. But it is important that you choose to associate with the people who will benefit you, because that's how you network. So please try to attend these ULS events, like the conferences, the lawyers' leagues, and other events. This is mainly for learning purposes, not just compliance, but also networking purposes. You need to cooperate with fellow lawyers. You share insights and challenges, and because the most important thing is networking fosters visibility, support, opportunity, and professional resilience. You have no idea what it means to be associated with a group of people with whom you share the same vision in the area of practice. You learn a lot from them, so please make use of that. Strong networks are not built overnight, but you need to begin today. That is why you build a strong network that will help you in your career. Then it is also important to build your legacy. Every lawyer, every advocate has potential to leave a lasting impact. What will be your contribution? What will you be remembered for? Are you going to be among the general flock in the village? You need to stand out. You need to find something that will make you great and important, something that you will always be remembered for. I've been telling people how I had a passion for helping people who cannot help themselves. The indigent, the marginalized, the poor, the vulnerable. And I think the first 10 years of my career, I focused on offering pro bono services and legal aid in areas deep down in villages where there are few lawyers, but these people also have the legal needs. Now, what is important is the impact you create in someone's life. It doesn't matter how much money you make. The money will always come, but what legacy have you built? What will you be remembered for? Whatever you dream, pursue it with clarity. Could be anything. Pursue it with clarity, excellence, and accountability. Let your conscience, professionalism, and love for justice be your compass. The legacy you build begins with the choices you make today. What you choose to build the legacy you will create. These colleagues from locals will tell you there are some names you will mention when you find every course list, locals or disciplinary courses, is that particular name of an advocate. And when you mention the name of this advocate, if members of the public will know her, that one, we know. They relate, they use words like her, you will fail. But it's not the legacy you want to create. So the choices you make, is what will define the legacy. Now, important also is to talk about the future of the legal profession in this country. The legal profession is undergoing rapid transformation, and we must admit and accept. We have artificial intelligence coming up, digital platforms, virtual hearings, cross-border legal needs, and all these present challenges and opportunities. Unfortunately, what we are taught in law school, and even at the bar course, might be what has brought you today. But in the area of practice you're entering, the field you're entering, you'll find very different things. You find changes, because every day there's a lot of these changes. You must have heard about AI. Some of you have read about it. I was reading about a law firm where some big law firm in the US where the associates are using AI to come up with building submissions. And yesterday, around 2 weeks ago, I have a client who doesn't live here. She was selling property, and she sent me a message. She tells me, "Counsel, please send me a draft of the sales agreement." And I told her, "But madam, give me the details. I'll do the. I know this is a transaction. I need to make money off the transaction because I've known we've always been selling this property for quite some time." And this lady makes a comment. Says, "Don't just send me any draft. I'll use that." Then I told her, "You see, things are different. I'll give you a draft. You put different things." And she made a comment. She said, "Counsel, just give me that. Don't worry. The rest I'll input AI. I'll get the perfect agreement I want." I saw my instructions going. And my struggle to try and bring back the instructions I can assure you it did not work. Because I first kept quiet, I did not share. Because I thought, if I don't share, she will come back to me. And I kept waiting, 1 day, 2 days, the lady is not calling me back. And when I asked her, she was telling me, this man has to pay part of the money, then the other later, I was trying to advise her, but because she's a grant and I'm not supposed to bill for the work, I'll not do that for free. She's showing me that she can do this. She doesn't need my help. She just needs a bit of, guidance. I never had from her, but what I know is the next I had was she saw the property and she was paid. And guess what I told her? And then later I had to retract. I said, when you do this, in case of a dispute, now if you just pay, you come back to me and I'll charge you. I didn't want to sound unprofessional, but that's why we're heading. But what does this present? What does this bring? We've been seeing young lawyers, most of the people are in practice or they cry, there's no employment, there's no work, others fighting for minimum wage, saying, law firms are employing us, they should pay us more. Sometimes it's just an opportunity you get. But again, we need to know that evolution is not a threat. It's an open door. Young lawyers like you are best placed to innovate, adapt, and lead. At least you're different from the old lawyers who didn't have a chance and opportunity. I practiced in an area where there was this colleague who enrolled in 1978, I think. And when we started a group, a subgroup for the lawyers in the area, and we started sharing things there, this man was still using these button phones. I don't know if any of you has one. And every time they would send a communication, even communication from court would come on the group. Today the petition says not around, it is sent on the group. And everyone is aware. This man finds himself at court alone. It was a struggle to convince this man that you need to adapt because technology, innovations are coming up. We need to move. He's the kind of man who felt he should sit with a typewriter and he can't just speak. He's a very nice, intelligent man. Every time I want to learn from him. But he struggled to adapt to innovation and the changing dynamics of practice. Now we have degrees. At the end of the day, he has no choice but to adapt. But like I said, you the lawyers have an upper hand. In fact, you should lead the way and the rest shall follow because when we talk about technology, that's where the legal practice is. That's where we are going. Whereas it has taken us some opportunities, there are opportunities for you. I remember when we had just started practice, people used to make money from incorporation of companies. I have colleagues in front every day hiring, we used to call them members. They memorandum and articles of association. I have 3 companies. And they are making money because you have to draft and you share client that you're doing work. When they see the big volume, then you charge based on the volume of those books, of those members. But right now, the client does not need yours. They will go to the RSP website. In about 2 hours, they operate a company. That is business going on because of technology. But I'm not going to cry and say now business for us is going. We're not going to do that. So you need to embrace technology, understand the economy, embrace change. Those who are ready will thrive. Those who are not, like I said earlier, your career might not live the career. Now, for me, it is really, as I conclude, I wish once again to congratulate you, our newest advocate, on this exceptional achievement. I know it is not easy, it has not been easy to make it this far. I've been following and hearing your cries. We've had serious challenges in that area of enrollment. We've had people who have waited for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and even more. And in the recent past, viewership, they allowed me to report this, and probably another child representative from law council. We've had the cries of members. I believe this looks like a big number, but the numbers we have out there in waiting are immense. There are too many. And they are wondering, why does it take so long for someone to enroll? Why do I have to finish law school? Why do I have to finish, I've gone through the 4 years, I've gone through the Law Development Center, but now even enrolling becomes a problem. And they've been calling out for help. Now, when we have a few of the members who have come and who are lucky to make it on the road today, it leaves the other colleagues behind. And I'm sure most of us are, but I'm part of, I think, 2 groups of enrollment. And they keep, they are so devastated. Now, of course, just to report to you what we've done as the Law Society, as the right community, I'm trying to engage law council and suggest, policy As you heard, one of our mandates of the Legal Research is to guide and advise on policy and law. And we are trying to find ways of resolving this because where we are headed, we need to be beyond. If we have these numbers now, next year the numbers will be beyond and they keep increasing. So please do not remain behind. Do not think because I've crossed the journey that now is none of my business. It is still your role to hold the hand of your colleague who is still behind. But the promise I can make out there is that we shall keep pushing to ensure that we have better reforms, law reform and policies that can simplify work for us. Because when I am a student, if not yet crossed, we still consider as a member of the profession. And that should be the duty of all of us. So, actually, we still have that challenge, but we believe with proper collaboration. I meant to understand after that writing there was a meeting, I think, on 4th, where part of the propositions we put across, part of the policy reforms we advised, we recommended, were discussed. I'm yet to get, I was a part of that meeting, but I'm hoping some of this can be adopted to solve that problem, and we have, so we have 45 million people in Uganda. But right now, I can tell you that as of today, the advocates who are registered in the Uganda society are only 6,000. Now, the 45 million people need more lawyers. They should not lie to you that lawyers are too many or we are too many. We just need to learn how to diversify it. We have areas where we do not have any advocate. If you went to Karamoja, you only find the Oronos and team from legal aid, but there's a lot of work. Those people also need lawyers. Why should all of us be? So it's important that we simplify how we get into this profession. Much as we want to protect it, much as we want to protect the integrity and the standards, it is also good to encourage the employers and give them a platform, but not to let them go through a frustrating process. I know some of the excitement we're seeing here and there, and everything. Some of it has that background of it's been a long journey. And honestly, I want to congratulate you who have made it here today. It's not just a simple thing, and you're so lucky to have made it. I also thank the locals and the judiciary for trying to fast track the enrollment process. At least these days, every month we have two. I think every quarter, I'm meant to understand that today we have this group, tomorrow there's another one. This is different from before when we have enrollment once or twice a year. So I want to thank these institutions for trying to improve and trying to solve the challenges we have here at hand. To our new advocates, the ones I now call members of the Radical Youth Party, I'm sure you're ready for deployment in the area of justice like I mentioned before. ULS stands ready to support you throughout your professional journey. I encourage all of you to participate, take part in these events, be part of the society, it is a society, and may you walk this legal journey with purpose and honor. Once again, I congratulate you once again, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you so much, the President, the Vice President, Uganda Law Society, for speaking to the hearts of the new advocates. I believe we have given you hope in the profession that there is always work for a good advocate. So don't worry about the numbers. Your Honor, we do not have much left, except that all these people are eager to hear from you, having witnessed their admission to the role. Allow me, in utmost humility, invite you to address them. Most welcome.
It will be a neglect of duty for me to not start with this after the Spirit of God really moved around when we were doing the enrollment. So, the Lord is good.
All the time.
And all the time. It will also not help me if I do not echo the prayer that we had. That also said, may we go out and chase away the spirit of injustice. That was powerful. May we also go out and chase away the spirit of fraud in the legal profession. And the spirit of pride in the legal profession. Okay, I need this, Herbert. I need this podium to be moved for me to face the people I enrolled. My parents, I am sorry. I don't have to face you. Let me talk to my people here today, and we see what happens. Okay, thank you. The Secretary of the Law Council, represented by Council Peace, the President of the Uganda Law Society, represented by the Vice President, Council Asiwe, our newly enrolled advocates, our dear parents, and I make special recognition to Her Lordship, Nasuna Flavia, and Her Worship, Geneva. You are all most welcome. The Fourth Estate is the media that is covering everything for my people, okay? And then, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I hope you're saying a good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, you're very alert. Good afternoon. My name is Labuno Pamela Ochaya. I'm the Acting Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, and with great pleasure, I'm very happy to speak to you today, this afternoon, after your enrollment as advocates of the courts of judicature. We are also honored, of course, to have among us the President of the Uganda Law Society, who is represented by Council Asiwe, the Vice President, and the Secretary of the Law Council, represented by Council Peace, who is my OG at school, who have both joined us this afternoon to mark this very important occasion in your professional career. Their presence in this function is a great indication of their commitment towards nurturing you as the professionals that now you are today. I congratulate you, our newly enrolled advocates. And I also thank you for joining the land profession. And now that you're enrolled, you are free to enjoy the privileges and benefits of an advocate, but also the responsibilities that come with being an advocate. You'll agree with me that the legal profession is an honorable profession that comes with power, that also comes with prestige and status in society. Many people look at you as lawyers with admiration, while others look at us as leaders, problem solvers, and as people whose opinions on various issues affecting society matter. Indeed, you will agree with me that being a lawyer is prestige. Everybody dreams of being a lawyer. If you ask school children, they will tell you that they want to become, 5 out of 10 want to become lawyers. Why? Because of prestige, because of respect that lawyers earn in the society. So you are now here, and by default, you should be earning respect in society. But how do you earn respect? We all know that respect is earned and not just given. You don't walk around and you expect people to fall at your feet. just because you're a lawyer, you must earn it. You have been given the power to call yourselves advocates, of course after receiving your practicing certificates. What you have, which I actually sat down and signed, are enrollment certificates. Do not show up with them in court. Are we clear? You need to apply, and they are all here, and you have a practicing certificate. And I can tell you that the first certificate you're going to receive is green. It has a green lining. How do I know this? Because I signed the certificates. So you need to follow that process and then have enrollments, practicing certificates. That is only how you can come up in court. So that is the respect we are talking about. Do you respect the profession so much that you have to finish the process that you started? Because by walking around masquerading as a practicing advocate, that is not respect to yourself. And I can tell you this from the point of judiciary, that if you show up in court without a practicing certificate, you are definitely going to be referred to the nearest police station. This is happening. Even if you waive these certificates that you have today, it's not going to help you. So earn respect first by, if you want to practice, getting the right document that will take you to court. Also, how do you earn respect to yourself? How do you live to the billing of a lawyer being in a prestigious profession? How you conduct yourself. If you're giving advice, does it make sense? Have you read enough for you to be able to give a sounding legal advice? Are you able to convince somebody basing on the law? It's only then that you can be called to be respectful, but also how you dress. This is important. You are very smart today, and I really want to thank you for that. But going forward, if we met you randomly on a weekday, because we don't really mind how you dress at the weekend. Of course, also we mind to a certain extent how you dress at the weekend, but that's not our business. If we met you during the week, how are you? Are you like this? Are you smart enough to be called, that's my lawyer? Because your client must be proud of you. You do not come up and your client doesn't even want to point at you. They will not, because they are ashamed of how you've actually shown up in court or your workplace. So also that is how you keep the respect to yourself. We talked, Council Peace talked about social media. Everything and anything is on social media these days. Anybody has the liberty to post anything on social media. But remember, social media does not forget. It also does not forgive. So you might post something today because you felt like posting. But 20 years or 10 years from now, and you're vying for that position, and somebody will pull that post out. They will say, well, you think this one is can fit the bill for that position, but 10 years ago, they posted something like this. You cannot recover from that. So take responsibility of what you post if you must post. What are you communicating? So that is how you earn respect, and also that is how you fit the bill of being in a prestigious profession. So that notwithstanding, others look at lawyers with suspicion and distrust. This is because the legal profession has been declining due to lack of integrity and professionalism, especially among young lawyers. This crisis has been made worse by inadequate mentorship from some senior lawyers who have resigned to the backseat as aggressive young lawyers take on the mantle. Briefly, I'll talk about this. You have heard, if you haven't, that some lawyers have gone down because of fraud, because of fleecing their own clients, because of looking for a quick buck, because of cutting corners. This is the distrust and the suspicion that we are talking about. And also holding out. His counsel Asimo talked about holding out. Currently we have a lot of people, and I was just informed actually by a judge of Court of Appeal yesterday that now they are receiving people who just enrolled appearing in the Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal, not even a magistrate grade 2 court, straight to Court of Appeal. You know, your certificate, your first certificate doesn't even say that. So I got that information, and I actually told the Court of Appeal judge that each time they get such a person, they should call me because I know them. Because I'm looking at you, by the way. I'm seeing your faces, that's why I faced you. I'm seeing your faces, and so it is a wrong thing to do. You are not supposed to be there until you get a practicing certificate that gives you the authority to be there. Now this is the suspicion and the distrust that we are talking about that comes in the legal profession. We must be concerned about the loss of integrity in the profession that has taken international dimensions. These days, still back to fraud. If people want to sanitize transactions that are not clean, they are shady. All a person or a group of people need is a lawyer. And also I heard the other day that then a policeman. But let me stick to lawyer, this is what I can talk about. So they said, for every shady transaction, a lawyer will sanitize the transaction. But that is causing a problem to you in your profession. Because what goes around? Exactly. So who signed the documents? You, the lawyer. So you think it's quick money, you think it is a lot of money, but inadvertently you are actually destroying your practice, you're destroying your profession. So you keep that, and actually these transactions go transborder, intercontinental. So you have to watch out for these. Sometimes you think a quick buck will save you and buy you the house and the car that you want, but you might then lose your profession in the process. So what then should we do to rescue the legal profession from decline? The first thing that every lawyer must do is to appreciate that the legal profession places heavy responsibility on an advocate. This I don't even have to explain because you already know the duties what you're supposed to do and what you shouldn't do. So as an advocate or as a lawyer, you have a very heavy responsibility upon you, and you have to take that very seriously. An advocate has duties to the court, the client, and community, and each of these constituencies has their own demands. Your client, of course, expects a lot from you. The community expects a lot from you, and also the court. You are an officer of court, and you are not supposed to come and mislead court. Your first duty as an advocate is to the court while you have a client. Are you helping the court in arriving at justice, or you are actually trying to twist and bend the laws because you want to win at every cost? That is not your responsibility. As an officer of court, you are expected to assist the court to reach a just decision. You are expected to put aside your client's interests for the greater cause of justice. What do we mean by this? A client who has a bad case wants you to do everything to make sure that he or she wins. But you also know that your duty is to the court to meet the greater end of justice. So you're at a crossroad. The client is paying you, but also you have the duty to court to make sure that justice is achieved. You have to know what you're supposed to do in that situation as far as your duty to the court is concerned. Never lose that. So in this respect, you're expected to play a critical role in helping the court reach a just decision in accordance with Article 126(2) of the Constitution. And I believe that you all know the provisions of 126(2) of the Constitution. Do we? You do. It talks about? I cannot hear you. Is this how they used to answer you in class? All right, let me do this very fast. So Article 126(2) says, in adjudicating cases of both the civil and criminal nature, the court shall, subject to the law, apply the following principles. A, justice shall be done to all irrespective of their social or economic status. B, justice shall not be delayed. C, adequate compensation shall be awarded to victims of wrongs. Reconciliation between the parties shall be promoted, and substantive justice shall be administered without undue regard to technicalities. Do you remember that now? Okay, you should thank me. Very well. So the above principles of justice must be read together with the right to a fair trial if the courts are to administer justice efficiently and effectively. I must, however, caution you that it is only a well-read and prepared advocate who can meet the high standards of justice in the above article. So you are new and you're going to appear in court when you get the practicing certificate. One of the things that we, the judicial officers, do is study you when you appear before us, and my colleagues here will attest to that. We study you, we look at you. We don't say anything, but we look at you, and we can tell that you are new. We can tell that very well. One of the things that aid us in telling whether you're new is your lack of preparation. You don't even know your case at all. When counsel, the opposite side who is prepared and who is not new, brings something up, you keep saying, Your Worship, my Lord, let me first confer with my client. You keep whispering to your client, You cite all laws. Laws have changed. Some laws have changed. You cite all laws. You do not know procedure. When you're in open court, you don't know where to sit down and where to stand up when submitting, even in chambers. So, do you know these things? You don't. Okay. All right. So please interest yourselves in knowing what you're. I'm assuming that you're coming to court. All right. Interest yourselves in knowing the decorum of court, how you're supposed to approach the court, how you're supposed to enter court and dress for court, so that we can only tell that you are new because you look fresh and energetic and you're submitting passionately. Don't let us tell that you're new because you're clueless. Read, prepare, and present your case before the court. Also, I'd like to say, and let the vice president say this, please add value to yourselves. Go to school, you're still young, you have time on your hands. If you have the means, please go and add value to yourselves. All of us have LLB. All of us have postgraduate legal practice, diploma in legal practice. What else do you have? So that when we go for an interview, because some of you are working, some of you are not, and you're going to be placing in your papers here and there, and you will be called for interviews. Why should we hire you and not hire him? Because your qualifications are the same, all right? So what is that extra age that you have over all the people who are appearing before you? It doesn't have to be master's. It can be a postgraduate diploma in something else. If you have the means, please add value to yourself. You can specialize. Masters have a lot of specialization. You can pick your area that you want. So I encourage you highly to also add value to yourselves. And we talked about drafts, sharing drafts. I didn't want to miss that point. We see submissions of lawyers before us, and sometimes they have parties, but they are talking about different facts. Yes, the plaintiffs, when there's one plaintiff, the plaintiffs sued the defendants. There's one plaintiff, there's one defendant. And then they're talking about land in probably Entebbe. When then along the way it comes back to land in Wakiso, maybe Mukono or something, the idea of sharing drafts. You ask your colleague, can I get a sale agreement? Counsel, you're probably lucky that they managed to change the names, but sometimes even the PO box is not changed. You get drafts, you just change names, but the details there are the same, they belong to the other draft. So comparing notes is good. Asking your colleague for, let me look at how you draft sale agreements and this and that is good. But have you studied the draft enough to format it to your facts? Otherwise, you will embarrass yourself. We see this all the time. So make sure that you, and you should be original. Make your own documents. Just go through the documents, then have it in your mind and draft your documents. So do not take the trouble to study the documents that you submit, whether in court or you're representing a company. Please study the documents that you have drafted. As an agent of your client, you're expected to defend and protect the interests of your client. But in defending your client, an advocate should never subvert the cause of justice to either promote or protect the client's interests. An advocate is like a high priest in the temple of justice and should always be guided by what is just and fair in representing the best interests of the client. In case you find that your duty to the court is in conflict with your client's interest, you are advised to either decline representation of this client or boldly tell him or her, because there are no shortcuts in this duty. If you feel conflicted, decline the instruction. Decline the instruction, because that is going to entangle you into a maze of something that you might not understand. And also, do not take clients' cases personal. We have seen lawyers not wanting to talk to each other because they are opposing parties. They don't want to talk to each other. And if they see, like I said, I went to school with Counsel Peace. If Counsel Peace appeared before me with you, definitely I know Counsel Peace, and I am going to greet her, good morning, Counsel Peace. The moment I smile, you will say I'm biased. That is taking your client's case personally. Because you know, everybody must be at war. Counsel Peace should be at war. You are at war. Even me, I should be at war. I should not talk to any of you. No, you are only placing a client's case before court. You say, Your Worship or my Lord, this is my client's case. This is the evidence I have. It does not go beyond that. You have to talk to your colleagues. You greet me, you greet the judge. It doesn't mean if the judge has greeted the other one, now it's biased. You start roaming around writing letters. I saw the judge. I saw the magistrate talking and smiling. I didn't like it. It's not going to be partial. Please know the difference. Know the difference. We all cannot be at war because of clients' cases. And should you feel so moved like that, please decline the instruction. Take away yourself from the case. So as a member of the community, you will be expected to put the interests of the community first, and in some cases do pro bono work to give back to society. In this regard, an advocate must be an active participant in transforming their societies by identifying problems in their societies and mobilizing communities to solve problems. An advocate should take pride in helping society because of the privileged position he or she holds for the greater good of the majority who may not be as fortunate. 2 points here. One, you live in a community. We all live in communities. And we are privileged to be the lawyers in the community. You might not be the only one, but you have a duty in the community. In communities, there are conflicts. Some really huge ones, others just simple complaints such as, well, I found you at blocks the road with your car, this and that. And some of these things get really escalated. You're the lawyer there. What is your duty? And your duty is not to approach neighbor A to say, you know what, let me draft papers, we go to court. No, your duty is to study the conflict, bring parties together and talk to them. Your duty is to help the community because they are privileged to have you. So do not go instigating people because you can see that you have rich neighbors and you can earn from them. Because that can also happen. You start looking around for possibilities of conflict so that you can convince them to go to court because you want to represent them. No, you have a greater duty to the community to help them. Be involved. Don't go and close yourself up because you're the lawyer. I don't talk to people. I don't talk to my neighbors. Who are they? You know, I am the lawyer. They should be looking for me. No, they should be happy that they have a lawyer in this community. No, talk to them. Find out who they are, you know, and occasionally greet them because you are there. You've been placed there to help them if they got into problems. But also you have a duty. I said this has 2 points. We talked about you helping the people who are less fortunate. I would like to commend the lady from Karamoja. I've forgotten your name, but Orono. Thank you for your service, pro bono service in Karamoja. And these are blessings. These are blessings that we receive. So do not shun people who do not have the means to pay you. Old, widows, orphans, people who do not have the means to pay you, please help them. Because you do not know where your blessings come from. You have a duty to help. And when I say this, I do not mean for you to go chasing after every old, less privileged person to say, do you want me to help you in anything? Because you're chasing blessings, they will come to you. They will come to you. And when they come, do not chase them away because they do not have a penny. I keep telling this story. When I was working for, again, legal aid, when I just started out, I helped a man, an old man who had a very complicated land case. And I helped him and we finished the case and we won the case, thankfully. So the man came to me and said, my child, I don't have anything to give you, but I only bless you. And I pray that you go even higher than the one who judged our case. The one who judged our case was a chief magistrate. Today I am 4 steps above chief magistrate. So I believe that those were the blessings I received. So please help the less privileged. But I also know that not all of you will be working in courts. Personally, when I also when I graduated and enrolled, I was the last person to say I would work in court as a magistrate. I never really thought I would work in the judiciary because I was young, energetic, and we had all these dreams of working for, I do not know, the United Nations. You know, all these big places. That was really our dream, all of us. Then an advert came, and my friends said we should apply for grade 1, magistrate grade 1. Let us apply, one thing. And I said, well, I really don't think I need to because I don't want to work for the judiciary. But anyway, they managed to convince me and a few others, and we applied. And I remember only 2 of us were shortlisted. And we went, for me, I said, okay, since I've been called for the interview, let me just go and do it, we see what happens. Still, my spirit was not there because I had other things. I was working already. So I applied, and when the results came, I had passed. So I joined the judiciary with this thing of, all right, I'll just work for 1 year because I didn't think I belonged in the judiciary. Not that I belonged, but I just did not want to work for the judiciary. I worked for 1 year. I said, okay, maybe eventually in the 3rd year, I will still go and work somewhere else. The rest, as they say, is history. I am here. I have not gone anywhere. So the point is this, sometimes we have our own ideas of what we want to do, but God will redirect your path to where He wants you to be. Do not resist that. If you see adverts coming, thank you. If you see adverts coming, put in your papers. If they call you for the interview, show up. Maybe that is where your path is. So have an open mind. Have an open mind, and opportunities that come, please give the opportunities the chance. So, ladies and gentlemen, the road to success in the legal profession lies in the meticulous observance of ethics. In the legal profession, ethics are broad and go beyond integrity, honesty, fairness, and compassion. We've already talked about this. Compassion. Be compassionate to the people that you present. Understand them, but again, like I said, don't join in the feelings that they have. Have compassion for them, for sure. Integrity entails compliance with ethical rules and adherence to widely accepted norms of honesty, fairness, civility, and respect for societal interests. Good legal practice is not about the end justifying the means. It is about compliance with ethics in the processes and means to an end. What is your brand? How do you want us to know you when your name comes up as an advocate? What should we do? How should we react to your name dropping on our tables? Of course, there are lawyers in this country and beyond whose names, if you mentioned, people will either say, I do not want to hear that. And yet, at the same time, there are names that when they are dropped, people will note in approval. What is your brand? What is the brand that you want to create? Do you want us to know you for fraud? Do you want us to know you for unpreparedness? Because like I said, we know when we have cases and we know that this is cancelled, this and that, we know it's going to be a long day because we have to teach you. You see? And yet there are people, if we know, oh, this is for cancel or run of example, I say, this is going to be a good day because she knows her things. We know these people, we know them. So please, what is your brand? How do you want me to react? How do you want her lordship here to react if she knows that you are going to appear before her? So create your brand. Now, everything else has been said. And now I would want to end here by congratulating you who hold the key to unlocking the potential in the legal profession in Uganda. And to the family, let me now turn to you. I can't ask them to. To the family, I would like to say, God has been good.
Yes.
He has enabled you to achieve this. He's given you the resources, the mental strength, the physical strength to achieve this. And today, while it is their win, it is also your win for sure, because you started this. We thank you. Now, these are young girls and boys compared to us. That means they still need your mentorship. They still need your guidance. They need your help. They also still need your financial help for some who are not yet working until they find their feet. If you're housing them and they still haven't found what to do, continue housing them. Don't throw them out to say now. Oh, that speaks a lot. But it's only for a while though. You should not think they should house you forever, because I am going to tell them that the moment they find their feet, start asking for rent. Have I spoiled it for you? Yes. So help them. There's a saying that goes, you do not need a good lawyer because you raised one. So, did you raise a good lawyer? So much so that you're not going to look for counsel Peace and counsel Asimwe for another lawyer, for a good lawyer. The answer might not come today, but we all know what it is. So if you raised one, you don't need a good lawyer because you have one with you. I'd like to thank you for coming and for raising this occasion. I thank you for the vibe that you brought to this enrollment. The only thing we missed was for music. I believe people were going to really dance here. With special requests. When I enrolled, we did not, and I was telling Council Peace still the same. When we enrolled, we just showed up. Nobody told us that we should come with parents. We just showed up. So the fanfare that we see today, we really enjoyed it because we didn't have it in our time. And we're not jealous. We are not jealous. We are just amazed that family can come and support the work that they started. We thank you. And before I end, I would like to tell Council Asimwe that as a judiciary we are here. Each time we are called upon to enroll advocates, we are here. And should you need discussions to find a way forward in making our people who have finished school but not yet enrolled, should you find it necessary to involve us in the discussion, we are here because this is work that has been done already. The students did their part, the parents did their part. We cannot fail them. So, on the part of the judiciary, we shall always be here. If we are called upon to enroll, we shall enroll. Today we have enrolled. Tomorrow I'm going to enroll another lot. So we are here. Councillor Simwe, thank you. So I would like to end here. We've already taken your time. I want to give you time to go and have lunch with your parents. But also I'd like to tell the parents that if these children of ours ask you for instruction fees, you want to ask them? Okay, said, they will also ask you for fees, return of fees. Instruction fees is when you have a legal problem and you need legal guidance. Should you talk to them and say, now we have this issue, and then they say, by the way, I am now an advocate, pay me first instruction fees. I sit here at the headquarters here. Please come to me. I'm now your lawyer on your side. Yes. So no instruction fees. I will now leave you to go and have lunch and further celebrations for this great achievement. I thank you all, and I say this for what I have.
Another round of applause. Thank you so much, Your Honor, for that motherly speech. I say motherly, not just because of the speech that you've given, but also because of your actions. I've seen it firsthand, Your Honor, in the activities here to this event.